How the United States quietly became a global power. In the late 19th century, the world's balance of power was shifting. Old empires were fading, and a new force was quietly rising. That force was the United States of America. After the Civil War ended in 1865, the U.S. emerged scarred, but full of potential. Its lands were vast, its people restless, and its ambition unstoppable. With rich farmland, endless raw materials, and the miracle of modern machines, the United States began to grow, faster than anyone imagined. In just 3 decades, between the end of the Civil War and the Spanish-American War of 1898, the numbers tell a story of transformation. Wheat production up 256%, corn 222%, refined sugar 460%, coal 800%, steel rails 523%, and the railway network. It expanded by more than 567%, linking a once fractured land into a single, humming economy. But perhaps the most explosive growth came from industries that barely existed before. Crude oil production skyrocketed from 3 million barrels to over 55 million. Steel ingots leapt from 20,000 tons to nearly 9 million. America wasn't just keeping up, it was overtaking the world's greatest powers. Why did this happen? And why so fast? The answer lies in a perfect storm of advantages. There were no nearby enemies to drain resources on defense. There were no old aristocracies blocking innovation. And there was no shortage of hands, as millions of immigrants crossed the Atlantic, ready to work, dream, and build. Capital flowed in from Europe. More factories rose in Pittsburgh, Chicago, and New York. The land fed the people, and the people powered the machines. It was a self-fueling cycle of expansion that few nations could match. By the early 1900s, America's vastness no longer felt like a burden. Railways, more than 250,000 miles of them, had stitched the nation together. For comparison, Russia, far larger, had less than a fifth of that. American farms, though less intensive than Europe's, produced cheaper and more abundant food, thanks to efficient machinery and cheap transport. Grain, pork, and beef from the Midwest filled ships bound for London, Paris, and beyond. Europe was eating American bread. And then came the giants of American industry, names that would echo through history. International Harvester, Singer, DuPont, Bell, Colt, Standard Oil. These weren't just companies. They were empires, built not on conquest, but on innovation and scale. When Andrew Carnegie sold his steel empire in 1901 to J.P. Morgan, the new U.S. Steel Corporation produced more steel than the entire nation of Britain combined. Even Britain's famed naval architect, Sir William White, was stunned on a 1904 visit. He found American shipyards building 14 battleships and 13 armored cruisers at once. By every measure, industry, agriculture, technology, the United States had become a colossus. The world in 1914, the spoken comparison. By the year 1914, the scale of America's transformation could finally be measured, and it left the rest of the world in awe. The United States now stood at the very top of the global economic ladder. Its national income had reached around $37 billion, more than 3 times that of Britain, the once undisputed industrial master of the world. Britain, still proud of its empire, earned about $11 billion. Germany followed close behind at 12. France, about 6. And far to the east, Russia, vast in land but poor in productivity, generated only $7 billion, despite having nearly twice America's population. That was the most striking contrast of all. Where the average American produced nearly $400 worth of wealth each year, the average Russian produced just 41. A tenfold gap, not in power, not in territory, but in efficiency and output. Even Japan, modernizing at lightning speed, was still far behind with an income per person of just $36. Italy and Austria-Hungary lagged too, each hovering barely above 100 per capita. For the first time in modern history, the world's center of gravity had shifted westward. across the Atlantic. The United States, once seen as a raw frontier, had become a machine of production, invention, and energy that dwarfed every old empire on Earth. Conclusion: the rise of the United States was not an accident. It was built on freedom of enterprise, waves of immigration, and the relentless pursuit of opportunity. While Europe's old empires clung to colonies, America built its empire from within, powered by steel, oil, and human will. But behind the shining factories were deeper stories of workers struggling for rights, of native peoples displaced, of inequalities that would shape the next century. The lesson? Progress always comes with a price. From a war-torn republic in 1865 to a world power by 1914, the United States had transformed itself, and the world with it. And the stage was set for the century America would come to define. If you found this story eye-opening, subscribe for more histories that reveal the lessons hidden in plain sight. This has been Lessons Untold. Relax, review, reflect.